Hi, good evening. I'm Chief Michael Kemp. I'm the Chief of Transit for the NYPD. Everything I'm about to say is preliminary. Just understand that this incident just occurred a short while ago. There's a lot going on. Detectives are on scene, still interviewing witnesses and still gathering evidence. But this afternoon at about 4:45 p.m., I want to bring you on a northbound A train. We had a 32-year-old male enter the train, we believe at the Nostrand Avenue station. This 32-year-old gets onto the train, the doors close, and the train starts moving. As the train starts moving, he's approached by a 36-year-old male who was already on the train. This 36-year-old male was described by multiple witnesses as being aggressive and provocative towards the 32-year-old that just got on. Words were exchanged between the two, and during the words it became physical, and also the 36-year-old at one point displayed either a knife or a razor blade toward the 32-year-old. The 36-year-old put that sharp object down. Words were still exchanged. It became physical again. And at some point, the 36-year-old removed a firearm from his jacket. He then took that firearm, started walking toward the 32-year-old who was on the train, yelling at him, walking toward him in a menacing way, and it became physical again between the two. During this physical confrontation, that gun, we believe, was removed from the 36-year-old by the 32-year-old, and the 32-year-old fired multiple shots, striking the 36-year-old. As this was occurring, the train pulled into the Hoyt-Skirmhorn station, which is right behind me, and it's very important that it be known there were multiple police officers in this station just feet away from when this train pulled in that actually heard the shots and were on scene within seconds, providing medical assistance, requesting an ambulance, and gathering witnesses. Our 36-year-old was removed to a local hospital. He's currently in surgery in critical condition, and the 32-year-old is currently with detectives. I'm speaking. I'll pass it off to the chairman and CEO of the MTA, John O'Liebenow, for a few words.
You know, I sometimes say that the subway is a sacred space where we practice the world's greatest experiment in tolerance and diversity every day so people can live their lives in New York, the greatest city in the world. So when something like this happens, when you bring a gun on the train and you start a fight, it's not right, and it is absolutely outrageous. That's what happened here. Someone brought a gun on the train and started a fight. It's why we need to keep fighting against guns. It's why the mayor is trying to take guns off the street and had some success. It's why the governor is fighting these crazies who say guns should be able to be carried everywhere in the public space. Get rid of the guns. The victims here, as the chief said, appears to be the aggressor. But the real victims are the people I saw in those videos who are having a harrowing time because they're on a train with somebody with a gun. Even if he's fighting somebody else, they're afraid for their lives. They're just trying to go about their lives. So get rid of the guns. If people want to have disagreements, that's going to happen in life. But when a disagreement, a gun's involved, we can't live with it. We can't live with it. And I appreciate the mayor's commitment to getting rid of guns and Governor Hochul's support and her effort to fight, again, this craziness, these ideas out there that people should be allowed to carry guns everywhere. The subway is no place for guns. I got to say to Chief Kemper and the NYPD, thank God for omnipresence. Thank God there were police officers on the platform. There were actually police officers from the precinct, from the neighborhood, who were inspecting, and they made the arrest before the what is apparently the gunman even got off the platform. This system is going to make us safer. But today we have to think about all those people who were impacted by this. And I just want to say that for all the passengers, we got to live our lives. We got to live our lives, but together we got to support everybody who's fighting back against guns. That's what's going to make the difference here.
Questions?
Yeah, obviously we can't take, we'll only take a couple. Obviously it's an active investigation, so we're only going to be able to take a couple, and we'll get updates from DCPI on those questions that we can't answer, all right? So, go ahead.
So, Chris Jose, WNBC. Is the 32-year-old facing any charges in this case, or is this simply an act of self-defense?
So that is to be determined. So we have him. Detectives are still on scene. They're still interviewing witnesses, reviewing video, and obviously consulting with their partners in the Brooklyn DA's office. So, to be determined. So there is a firearm that was recovered on scene. It's a small caliber firearm, in my opinion. It looks like a small semi-automatic, maybe a 32 or a 25. Don't hold me to it. But we didn't want to touch it and manipulate it and disturb it. It's part of a crime scene.
I'm going to go to Bahar from WNYC.
So as far as their relationship, unknown. I don't believe they knew each other. I could, that's just my opinion. But we don't believe they knew each other.
We're going to go to Eileen Palmer, WPIX.
So you said they got, it started on Ocean Avenue, so by the time it got here, two were fighting. Had the other passengers cleared out of the car? How many people were in the car when the shots were fired?
So the exact count, there were people in the car. The exact count to be determined, well over a dozen, 2 dozen. The train was moving when this started. And this incident was still continuing as the train pulled into this station and the doors opened.
Any idea how many shots were fired?
More than one.
I'm going to go to Evan Simcoe, New York Daily.
You guys mentioned video a couple of times. Was this video shot by bystanders? Is this video taken on security cameras in the car, outside the car?
So there were multiple witnesses on that train car that video recorded with their cell phones.
And I just got to say, Evan, just for clarity's sake, there are 34 cameras in the station, but the apparent shooter was apprehended before he even got off the platform.
That's all.
Say it again. On that train car, no. Listen, we talk about this all the time. There's upwards of over 1,000+ cars right now. I think in another year or so from now, we'll be saying yes.
By the end of the year.
By the end of the year. Listen, I want to say this. As many witnesses as we have, we never have enough. So I'm urging anyone, if anyone else was on that train car in the station or has any information in relation to this incident, to call our Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-TIPS, TIPS.
All right, thank you, everybody. That's it.